Hey there, another great episode for our fellow real estate professionals listening on. Our next guest is a luxury real estate broker who's going to teach us how to get global exposure for our clients, as well as building a brand. My next guest, Nick J. Kyte, is on the show coming up.
Welcome to the Wealth Through Real Estate Investing Podcast, your source for real-world strategies focused on creating long-term wealth, cash flow, and financial freedom through real estate. Through guidance, tips, and stories of highly successful real estate investors and thought leaders, we provide you the tools to succeed and to reach the lifestyle you always wanted. And now, your host, Dwaine Clarke.
Hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Wealth Through Real Estate Investing Show. This is your host, Dwaine Clarke, and today we have Nick J. Kyte. Nick is a top producing luxury real estate broker with Coldwell Banker, First Ottawa, our neighbors here in Canada. Nick, thank you so much for joining us on the show, and how you doing, my friend?
Doing well, Dwaine. The new year's starting off with a boom, and there's no complaints, but thank you so much for having me on.
And really looking forward to it. I always love having a good mix of, both real estate investors, thought leaders, and real estate professionals like yourself. As another fellow real estate professional, commercial and residential, has always kind of loved to kind of pick each other's brain and kind of learn what's working best. And we, have a nice listener base that are real estate professional. I think is going to get a lot of insight from this interview as well. But before we kick things off, kind of learn a little bit about each other before we started recording. Can you kind of talk about your start in real estate and how you got started, and a little bit about your backstory?
Absolutely, Dwaine. So I'm going into my 8th year of real estate here in the nation's capital of Canada, Ottawa, and the surrounding areas. I absolutely love real estate, so it wasn't a matter of when. It wasn't a matter of getting into real estate, it was a matter of when. And so I took the dive 8 years ago and have never looked back, and absolutely enjoy building and expanding my business here in Ottawa. My background that brought me here, I have extensive background in HR and marketing. I went to a local college where I got a degree in business administration, as well as the University of Ottawa with a BA in psychology as well as communications. So I always like to keep my education broad so that I can specialize in being an entrepreneur in whatever field I wanted, and real estate was it for me. And so it's been a wonderful journey and continues to surprise me each and every day.
And can you kind of tell me kind of your reasoning to go into kind of the luxury aspect of it? I know, a lot of people kind of come in, as a real estate agent or broker and say, all right, we're going to start with friends and family, local markets, but you kind of specialize in the luxury end, which I think takes another level of care and expertise and strategy. Can you kind of talk about your interest and why did you choose doing luxury?
Yeah, so I think it was a natural evolution in my business is the opportunity. I believe a lot of my clients that I help them either buy, sell, or invest referred me to others that were looking or seeking that type of real estate agent. And I'm very blunt, very honest, and I always provide a multitude of different options and strategies. So that we can consider what is best for our client, and then really dive deep into the pros and cons of these strategies. And I find that this was something that was lacking in the luxury market, where a lot of the clients that were coming to me didn't understand that there was more than one options to selling their house or marketing their house. There was a lot of preconceived notions that it was done either one way or one type of section. And I always came from the standpoint was that my role is to provide guidance, strategy, and options, and have a discussion with the client in terms of what works best for them and their family. And I think that presence and that strategy has allowed me to continue to build in the luxury market in Ottawa.
Yeah, just kind of piggybacking off of that, you kind of could talk through your mindset or your thought process of when you see a client kind of talk about strategy, because I know there's so many different ways you can go about it. You know, if you have like a, a bachelor pad or, a family home or a party house or things like that, where you can kind of figure out your marketing strategy. You can kind of take us through your thought process on how you correlate a strategy to be able to get the maximum exposure and then the highest price for your clients.
Absolutely. So where I like to start is by experiencing the home or property. I feel that it's very difficult to arrive at a solid marketing strategy without walking and speaking with the seller and going through their home. That is one of the most important steps that I do right off the get-go. And to be honest, sometimes it's more than once to get a better understanding of the complete pros of the property, the location, and what kind of route we're going to be going to expose the property on a domestic and international stage. So that's first and foremost. The second to that is deciding of all the pros, what is going to be the driving force or the forces that the typical demographic of buyers are going to be searching for at that said time. So in Ottawa, we do have 4 seasons. We have winter, fall, spring, and summer. So depending on the type, the season that we go to market, it's really understanding who is going to be our target and how we're going to get them to come to their property over going to others. And the third thing would be then the complete strategy from a social media and video digital marketing standpoint, which is what I'm heavily involved in, coming up with the concepts and video scripts that will target as well as expose them on an international standpoint for my clients so that they get top dollar and get the exposure that their property deserves.
Can you kind of talk about kind of the embracing of digital and social media? I know like a lot of traditional agents, starting out back in the day, used to be put an ad in the paper, go to kind of a couple of local meetings and just kind of spread the word that way. But now with the power of digital media, social media, you can not only get the people in your local market, but international presence, especially you working with higher end properties. You need to maximum exposure and more particularly finding the right buyer for that property. Can you kind of talk about some of the strategies you mentioned? You mentioned like like social media, like Instagram, YouTube, and things like that. Some other mediums that people are starting to take more notice now to really get maximum exposure for their listings.
Absolutely. Social media has taken over. So in the last 5 years, where I can see that people are putting in newspaper ads or whatnot, that has gone online, and your social media is pretty much that as well as so much more. The whole point of social media is to be social. So a lot of the times I come across clients who will say that a realtor was saying that they're heavy involved in social media. And the thing that people have to understand is social media is very results driven and very factual. Yes, of course, you can buy followers or whatnot, but organic content and organic followers are essential. And the only way you grow that is by providing content and a presence that others want to view and be informed about. And so I think that is a very, very, very important aspect of marketing, is creating a sense of information that not only the local market, but from a North American or international standpoint that they want to look at. Mm-hmm. And so what I always let my clients know is that the social media is going to be with us for now and for the future, and embracing the ability to get your property in front of a world stage at a very low cost, but understanding how to make it work and most effective is vital to get clients top dollar and to get buyers to want to see the property and experience it in person, which is the whole entire part of being exposed online, is to get them to come see the property in person.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's such amazing how you can see how it was back in the day as people kind of start out in real estate to now, like people are viewing properties from all over the world, and you're bringing in such more bigger presence. That's just amazing how that works. That kind of leads into my next question, as far as kind of for a question for newer agents that's coming in. I'm all about, thought leadership platforms and getting, exposure as early on, especially as like a new agent. You want to be able to kind of build that brand influence. Can you kind of talk about some steps that you use to be able to build your brand influence, things like this, like appearing on talk shows and podcast shows, and just being very visible, so then once you get that opportunity for a listing or working with a buyer, that you already have kind of the tires on the ground and it's already moving straight ahead. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
Absolutely. I, I'm no expert. I just do what I say I'm going to do. So I feel that your brand is who you are, and it's not something that you can hide. So I'm completely forthright, and what you see is what you get, and that's in all aspects of my life. I don't act differently in business than I do in my personal life. So my sphere of influence and my clients, what you see is what you get, and that, I think, in itself is what my clients really enjoy. That we have a relationship that is open, honest, and I think in real estate or any other business, that is a key factor in why clients want to use a certain business or go with a particular brand. And in my instance, choose to work with the Kyte team versus other options out there in their market. Also, by working by referral, I don't just work with the general public. My source of refers come from satisfied clients and or family and friends. And so taking good care of my clients before, after the sale, and for as long as they'll have me as their agent, I really go above and beyond. And I feel that because of that, my clients go above and beyond to get me in front of their friends and family, so that they can have the same experience. And that to myself would be the key foundation for a strong personal brand. And that is definitely one that I continue to use and ask referrals from my clients. Getting on a podcast like this, Dwaine, is just for me, I just love it. And so it's a natural thing for me to be a part of. And I think anyone that knows me knows that I enjoy my video marketing, my concepts, and speaking with the community, having anything to do with entrepreneurs and business, and of course real estate.
Yeah, I really love that quote that you had there regarding kind of the referrals. If you go above and beyond, for your clients, that they're going to go above and beyond to refer you, because then they're going to want to share that with, people that they love and care about as well. And I think that's extremely important. And that's kind of the main drivers that kind of builds our businesses. So that's very well said there. And just kind of switch to kind of the local market in Canada. Can you kind of talk about we're neighbors here, what your housing market is looking like? I understand we talked pre-show about kind of the interest rates and like the activity, and you was kind of telling me January has been extremely busy. Can you kind of talk about what's going on in Canada as well as your local market in Ottawa?
Absolutely. So I'll start with the Canadian real estate market, which from domestically it is strong and moving into 2021. it is seen to even strengthen further. And yes, there will be local variances throughout the country, but the main cities of your like Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, are all looking at having positive value increases and lower inventory, which is one of the key drivers to the strengthening of the market, as well as low interest rates. From a local standpoint for the Ottawa and Greater Ottawa area, we are kind of an isolated little bubble here. We have a large influence. Over 20% of our population is employed with the federal government. And then we have a lot of other well-paying jobs, which has always been something unique to Ottawa. We have a thriving tech sector, retail, e-commerce, education, and healthcare, and we have them all here. So all these kind of local factors, they bring job relocations, they bring migration, immigration, and a lot of people wanting to either to remain in Ottawa and move up in the market, or they've put their time in with their larger homes and are looking at downsizing to a little smaller footprint so that they can enjoy retirement. So what 2021 is looking for Ottawa is we are looking at continuing a very strong market that is fueled by low interest rates, low inventory, and a massive demographic of buyers, from investors to first-time home buyers to upsizing, downsizing, relocations, and everything in between. And all those types of people are currently in this market and are looking for options when they come to market.
Absolutely. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Ottawa, especially kind of in the amenities side. Can you kind of talk about some of the stuff for people, especially from the States who are not familiar with this part of Canada, as far as kind of like the draws from it, things you can do outdoors, activities, family events, stuff like that people love about the city.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ottawa is a very safe and inviting city. I think that is first and foremost a driver for why a lot of people put Ottawa on the map when looking at relocating or moving. In addition, it's always ranked top for most livable cities throughout the world. And the reason why is because not only do we have a lot of options for families, but anyone, depending on what their background is or what their personal interests are, whether it's art galleries, museums, theater, restaurants, and outdoor activities. It's funny that you brought that up. One of our main key tourism attractions is Winterlude, which takes place in February. They're obviously with COVID-19, they are looking at a more virtual draw this year, but they are deciding whether to open up the Rideau Canal and allow skaters or not. And so from a standpoint, over 3 weeks in February, that is a huge attraction for people coming to our capital. But in general, right now, from Ottawa, within 40 minutes, we have probably over a good 10 ski hills that people can take advantage of. A huge attraction would be Mont Tremblant, which is just 2 hours from downtown Ottawa, and we are very close to Montreal and Toronto. So there are a lot of major cities that are very close to Ottawa that make it one that people want to come and see for the day or for the weekend. Obviously a little different now with COVID, but I'm talking about in years past and what will come back. It's just seen as a main driver. Definitely everything that the city offers It's from tourism, as well as the residents who come and they don't want to leave.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about Ottawa, and I haven't had the chance to visit there. I've been to Montreal several times, and but a lot of friends and family always talk about like the outdoor activities and all of the the restaurants and all of the amenities there. So I'm pretty sure it's like I said, that makes it very attractive where people want to move there. So I appreciate you sharing that, and to kind of learn a little bit more about you. Can you kind of take us through a typical work day for you, and do you in particular do you have any special morning routines?
Yeah, so I think the first, like anyone, is waking up at a reasonable time. So I'm up anywhere between 6 and 7 o'clock. And yes, there definitely with COVID, there has been some pivots that would that have impacted my morning routine along with everyone else. We have a young daughter, Audrina, who had just started junior kindergarten. So there is a lot of work in the morning to get her ready and up and going. But I would say one of the main things that I've tried to be consistent with is having 1 to 2 glasses of water the minute I wake up. I feel that assists with rejuvenizing from the night and getting ready for the morning. And there are a lot of in this business. A lot of our listings I like to put up first thing in the morning. So going and concentrating on having and ensuring that everything is ready to go, and that we can go live to market as soon as possible in the morning, is definitely a routine that I'm used to and has continued through COVID. And then what I would say is working out. Definitely for me is very important. This business, just like other businesses, there is stressful at times, and you can go through all the emotions in one day. But I always find that if I'm feeling sluggish or tired, or I've had a rough day, getting a workout in is important. So I am looking forward to being able to go back to a place that I work out, which is called the Fitness Lab here in Ottawa. And I absolutely enjoy the people there and the workouts. So that's something that I'm looking forward to going back to. And one thing that I'm going to be adding back on my list that I haven't, and I get slapped on the wrist, is the online workouts. It's just something that I haven't been able to kind of get motivated for, but I will be holding myself accountable. And next week I am going to be starting and trying to do 2 online classes a week to get that routine going. And I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Look, yeah, that's great for sharing that. And as far as kind of like you communicating with your team, is there any kind of tools or resources that you guys do to make you, a bit more productive?
Yeah, so we're definitely on Zoom just like this. We have a lot of processes in place depending on what we're dealing with. So we're very conscientious of each other's times, and we are very focused on what we need to do. So we always have a very task-oriented agenda that we focus on. And once we're done those, if we still have time, we can tackle other tasks. If not, then we go on and get going and getting to work and meeting with clients and setting up appointments and negotiating and marketing and all the fun stuff that comes with being in real estate.
Awesome. And then finally, I always ask these questions to all of our guests. For me, it's just, I do it all the time. Always thinking about it. I'm pretty sure you as well. Is gratitude. So, what can you say that you're most grateful for?
Oh, wow. I am most grateful for my family and friends. I feel that, like most, COVID has really impacted socially, gatherings and very important moments. And I find myself, when I do see people outside of our bubble, it's more, I'm more prioritizing that time as being really important, because something like this can happen on a global standpoint. and really changes how you interact with people. And myself being an extrovert, that is something that I've struggled with, and I definitely, the people that I see, when I see them, I'm much more vocal. Even, it's hard to believe, but I'm even more vocal to them about how much I miss them and love them, because it's funny that before this, 1 or 2 months can go by and you can see someone and you don't think anything of it. But now that you can't see someone, 1 or 2 months of not seeing someone takes a toll. And so I think, like most, I'm dealing with that as best as I can, and definitely most grateful for the circle of close friends I have and my family. And it's brought me, I think, to be even more grateful than I was before.
Yeah, it's very well said, because it's something you just take for granted, that, you know, you mentioned that you were seeing someone all the time, and then when this kind of was stripped away from us, that, you know, you don't see them, and now it adversely affected our lives in so many ways. So then when now you finally can get the opportunity, you're like, hey, can we, you know, talk and have, you know, meaningful conversation, and you want to be intentfully, you know, smiling more and just doing more, because you never know when something like this can, you know, take away even just kind of the simple things that no one really expected. So that's very interesting how you said that, and, you know, definitely going to resonate with me and a lot of people that's listening. So yeah, I appreciate you
Absolutely.
sharing.
And I think one more point is, I remember just trying to get together with people for a quick coffee, and, you know, I was on my phone and checking this, and people are
Right.
calling, and I wasn't as present as I should have been. And that is definitely one of my takeaways that I'll be using to improve upon in 2021 and beyond, is that when I'm in front of people, that I'm more present.
Mm-hmm.
And a trick that I've been doing, and it's probably been done by a lot of people, is, you know, your trusty cell phone, is when I'm talking with someone, instead of having it up, I just place it front down on the table, so that, you know, when I'm involved and speaking with someone, I'm not being distracted by bing, bing, and the light and whatnot. And I found that even just doing that in the last couple of months has allowed me to have more quality time with my friends and family.
Yeah, very good point. I like that a lot. So yeah, that's, you know, thank you for sharing that. And then finally, we'll make sure to have all of the contact information, our show notes, so you can get in contact with you. But how do we get in contact with you if you share it over the airways with us?
Absolutely. So I'm on all social media platforms at Nick J. Kyte, and that's Kyte, not Kite. A lot of people always think it's the actual kite. My website is nickkyte.com, and those would be that would be the place to find me, and all my social media platforms. And if anyone ever has any questions on the Canadian or Greater Ottawa area for real estate business, or just attractions, please feel free to reach out on those platforms. I answer everything personally, and would love to hear from you.
Awesome, Nick. It was a pleasure having you on. Continued success into 2021 and beyond, and best to you and the family. And we'll look forward to connecting with you again soon.
You as well, Dwaine. This was an absolute pleasure, and really do appreciate you having me on your show. I hope the listeners enjoy what they've heard, and reach out anytime if you have any questions.
Absolutely. It definitely did. It was a great time. Thank you so much, and take care.
My pleasure.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey there, this is Dwaine Clarke, your host of the Wealth Through Real Estate Investing Show. I want to thank you again for tuning in, and hope you're enjoying this valuable content. While I got you for a quick minute, I wanted to send you an invitation to join our growing investor community. It's called the Passive Investors Club. It's a group of like-minded individuals like you who are seeking financial freedom and to build true wealth through passive investing in commercial real estate. We take a totally different approach to investing that is opposite, that is pushed by the financial advisors and what we see in the mainstream media. We like to invest in real assets that we can touch and understand, and that are not subject to the wild swings of the financial markets. We don't want to be part of the herd who pursues the traditional route, leaving our financial future to Wall Street. So if you're interested in joining our group and to share in resources and opportunities, then go to passiveinvestorsclub.com/join. Joining the club is completely free and there's no obligation. And all our members receive our free Passive Investors course along with tons of resources and content. So again, passiveinvestorsclub.com/join.